Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum. If you want to see a high level, and I'm talking 2200 MMR plus back and forth game involving 8-gun Wraith, this is the game for you. Let's go. At the bottom here, I am playing as a supply specialist with stonecrawlers and crawlers, and I've added 2 squads of fans just to deal with chaff and also use them as distractions later on. My opponent, Keek, is a quick supply specialist. He is running steel balls, fans, and I think it's going to add even more fans just looking at the position. And this is one of my favorite combinations. Just use the fans and the steel balls and transition into fan carry. So most likely he's going to add 2 more squads of fans in round 1. And then round 2, he's going to take range on fans. And then maybe in round 3, taking armor. But surprisingly, this is very interesting. He does not run armor. And instead, he's running fortified target lock. This is like, you never see this technology because it's so situational. And Keek is like 2200 MMR. So maybe he's onto something. Maybe he's cooking recently. He's figured out, okay, I'm going to get range steel balls, mobile beacon to the tower, and I'm going to prioritize the tower because of fortified target lock. Something to think about. That could be very interesting. All right, it's going to be, wow, it's going to be round 1 fans with range, which means he's only able to get 1 more squad of chaff. Very, very ballsy move here. But if your fans get leveled sometimes down the line, then they can do a whole ton of damage. All right, we're looking at round 2. I think nano repair and redeployment are pretty good cards overall. I'm going to take nano repair because I needed to put down a wraith to stop these fans from leveling too hard. So here goes my wraith, and it's going to have nano repair, and it should be able to clear out the rest of the board. For my opponent, it's going to be redeployment. I think he might want to start moving the balls around. So he goes from a strong side, weak. He'll have a strong side and a weak side. Right now, the only way for these fans to really get levels fast is if it can actually get to a tower. So once you get tower, the fans can do more damage, kind of snowballing from there. But for now, though, I am doing all right. And this Wraith is really doing a lot of work because it's preventing the fans to actually do damage. And without killing anything, these fans don't get level, and without levels, you don't have a fan carry. Round 3. I think Melting Point is a good answer if you want to answer my Wraith directly. Typhoon is another great answer. Arc Lights, not too shabby as well. Arc Lights with range can actually deal fans pretty comfortably. Although, in the long run, I do want to switch out of the Arc Lights because they're just not that efficient. Typhoon has a bit of a problem because when you're facing high-level range fans, your Typhoon actually gets outranged, and by the time you actually reach these units, you're just going to get shut down. So I've decided to take the safer route, being the defender. I don't need to walk towards my opponent's army. I just need to stand and shoot with superior range. So that's going to be Arc Lights. All right. My opponent decided to add a Melting Point to directly answer my Wraith. And for me, anticipating that's going to happen, I just added a whole column of fans for my opponents to get through. This is a bit of a double-edged sword because I'm actually feeding a bit of experience into my opponent. But without these fans, my Wraith would just walk up and get absolutely slaughtered by this Melting Point. So I can't have that. All right, we have level 2 fans at the shallow corner. This is actually a very scary force because the shallow corner is usually very well protected because not only you can have crawlers running in from the top, you can also have additional units down at the bottom. And this fan here has the coverage of pretty much the entire upper right side. If you can get some items, maybe a laser scope, maybe a damage item, and this could turn into a very powerful unit. And speaking of laser sight, here it is. I'm going to snatch the laser sight as well. And for me, the laser sight is going to go on one of these arc lights before I can get to another unit. All right. So where is my opponent's laser sight going to go? I'm going to guess it's going to go onto this level 2 fangs because with laser sight, it can actually cover like all the way to this range. And that's ridiculous. All right. He moved his steel balls over to the side to provide a bit more coverage. I took launcher overload on the stormcrawlers. I just need to do a lot of damage very fast. I'm not really worried about being outranged by these fans, but I am worried about these things like the steel balls or melting point. So launcher overload essentially doubles your damage output at the expense of some range. And I think it's worth the price because I am the defender. Your units are running towards me. I don't need to reach you sooner because I will always have a target to shoot. All right, my units are winning on the left-hand side. However, I am not on the right. A pretty good tower. I wonder if I can get the other tower, and if it can, then I should be able to bring down this melting point with my launcher overload stormcrawlers. And there it is. All right, so we got some very juicy ability cards. I took Iron Blast, hoping to essentially capture all these fans here where they were so busy shooting at my colonel fans. My opponent decided to take shield. So the shield airdrop is the only type of shield that you can actually use at a flank. And this protects your flank from things like missiles and allows them to do a lot more damage. And this fan right now being level 3 with laser sight, an absolute beast of a unit. My opponent realizes that the melting point is probably not going to get on target because of the chaff, so decided to put down the Wraith. And the Wraith is going to mess up the timing of the Iron Beam because I was expecting his unit to stay at the spot for quite a bit longer. But now with the Wraith to clear out the chaff, and this Iron Beam is just going to skim through a few fangs and not much else. So not a very good Iron Beam at all. Launcher overload stormcrawlers are doing okay, and they're getting through these level 2 steel balls. Now the real problem though is we got his high level fans shooting at my Wraith, unable to heal all the way back to full. So this round is going to go to my opponent because of these 2 Wraiths. Perfect. All right, so we're getting to round 6 here, and the board is pretty much set. We got another Iron Blast, and this time my opponent is taking it. And this is the round I've decided to double tech my Wraith with range and with a gun. I need to win the battle in the air against his Wraith, and I also need to use my Wraith to clear out these fans. So it's going to be double tech. Now my Wraith are at the exact same range as the level 1 or at the range fans. But the only difference is that I get to one-shot them and not the other way around. Ooh, this is a brutal Iron Beam. It's killing not just the Stormcallers, but my Wraith with the nano repair, and it's also clearing the path for my opponents to get straight to my tower. So next turn, I would definitely need to upgrade this tower because it's, you know, with the tower down, I'm just suffering from way too much damage. All right, we got a unit card. Typhoon is going to be great for me. Farseer is going to be great for my opponent. The reason Typhoon is great for me is because right now I have no meat in front of my Wraith. Farseer is going to be good for my opponent because he can, one is to supplement the damage onto my Wraith, but also with EM disable my double tech, so kind of leveling up the playfield here. I took shield on the Typhoon. Right now my Typhoon serves purely as a main tank. I took replicate because I need to get some of the value out of the fans all the way in the corner here, and also it should provide a bit of a distraction for my opponent. Added even more Wraith. I'm pretty confident with my Wraith right now because they do have 8-gun, and unless my opponent decides to take that as well, I should out DPS them quite hard. And with the support of the Typhoon, which the Wraith are not really good against, I have more HP and also I have more damage. Alright, so it's going to be Search Radar. It is going to increase the range of the fans by another, I believe, 10 meters. So now these fans are shooting 130 meters, and no, there's also temp range. I was wondering why is there so many, why do the fans shoot at 130 meters? So it took temp range, also with radar. It's going to boost it up by another 10 meters, so now the fans are now shooting at 140 meters. Is normally not a big problem, but when you're running 8-gun Wraith and you just need to travel another 20 or so meters, it gets a little bit scary. Alright, looks like the Typhoon are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, which is tanking. And that allows me to take the entire left-hand side. And I wonder if I can take the tower before... no such luck. The tower is upgraded, so my right-hand side is completely destroyed. Alright, so there are still 2 level 2 Wraith left. All right, getting to round 8 here. This is a very difficult battle. Iron Blast is offered once again, and both of us can take this card. Both of us end up taking it. And at this late stage of the game, it's just no reason to not take any of these ability cards, especially when you have units in the air. Alright, finally some levels on my Wraith. The fans continue to level, and there's also going to be some Wraith on the flank as well. I've decided to add some melting points, and this is where I want to go with melting points with multi-melter because they're great against units like Wraith. They're great against medium-sized units like Steel Balls. This was something I was a little concerned about with my opponent switching into level 2 Steel Balls onto my Typhoons. That could be devastating. So I am preparing myself for that switch. Adding more crawlers at the front so that I don't get instant lock on in case he gets Steel Balls. Alright, Iron Beam is working. It's getting rid of one of my Wraith. However, my melting point is already locked onto 2 of his Wraith and able to bring them down. No such luck against these high-level fans, now level 3 with the laser sight. My opponent's level 3 Wraith was able to I was able to kill it very quickly. And finally, I got a round in my favor. All right, another laser sight is offered. I took it. I'm going to drop it on another wraith of mine. I've also started to sell my arc lights because right now the chaff clear duty has been taken over by these high level wraiths. My opponent took Ignite, noticing how most of my units are just high HP single model type of squads. So Ignite can actually do a lot of damage to them. And he's not really going full fan carry. I mean, I say that because while we're looking at fans with triple tech, but right now he has the opportunity to switch either into full wraith carry or he can do something else. But fans right now are more of a supplemental damage. I took Degen Beam, which is a very powerful tool. It reduces the attack of units like fans by about 20%, allowing all of my units to survive a little bit longer. And because I need to kind of rush them in with a gun, it also allows me to kill them a little bit faster. All right, so another Iron Beam is on the ground. Oof. This flank is slowly getting out of control. I think my opponent just really wants to distract that. My tower has been upgraded to level 3, which means even if he wins on this side and take my tower, I should be just fine. This Iron Beam completely misses most of the important units. Hopefully I'll be able to get to this level 2 Wraith just barely. Yes. And these high level fans are just really just continue to do the damage. So I think I'm going to lose this round as well, because of just the sheer firepower from his Wraith and also from his fans. Now, until now, I was contemplating about getting fire on the fire callers. Here's another unit drop. So instead of getting fire on the fire callers, I'm just going to get a bunch of Vulcans with incendiary bomb, since all of my opponent's units are very close to me. So if I can just ignite right underneath the Vulcan, I should be able to kill quite a lot of these fans, and there's no way for my opponents to reliably stop that from happening. All right, another Iron Blast is off cooldown, and my opponent chose a War Factory with range. Right now, the only unit that can contest the War Factory is my level 2 multi-melter with laser sight, but with range, I don't know. Iron Beam is coming down. Level 2 multi-melter is going to survive. However, on the far right-hand side, I think my army has fallen. Locking on to the level 3 Wraith, bringing it down. Now he's going to get tower. And the question is, can I bring down this War Factory with my melting point? I no longer have any sort of chaff clear, and with the final shot, here goes my melting point and also any hope of winning this game. So very well played, super intense game. I thought I did almost everything correctly in this game, right? Maybe I could have taken fire a little bit sooner or at all with my Stonecrawlers. That would have saved me a couple rounds for with these high level fans. Maybe I could have get better positioning on the Iron Beams. I'm not entirely sure. I think this is one of those high level games that you really play well and your opponent is just better. So if you're watching this game, what would you do differently at what turn? Let us know in the comments. And thank you for watching this video. And if you like more games like this, here's another one for you. And I will see you on the next one.
Prepare your tactics. Mechabellum's calling. Deploy your fortress. The the battlefield's alive with swarms.